What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nerd Variety Podcast. It's been a long time, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Daredevil, Born Again. It's me, Josh, and I'm here with Matt.
What's up, people? Long time no talk. We're sorry, but life be lifing.
Life be life, and we be adulting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Adulting is you know what.
yeah,
So yeah, but we're back talking
yeah.
about one of my favorite series of the year, Daredevil Born Again. What a ride! Spoiler warning: there will be spoilers. If you don't
Yes,
want to be spoiled, watch the show. It's been out for like 2 months. Come on.
yeah, yeah. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? I guess you
Yeah,
could wait until next year when part two comes out, season two comes out, and then watch the whole thing. But come on, there's too much time. We don't know what's gonna happen next year.
it ain't worth it. You gotta watch it now because
Yeah,
whoa, what a show!
yeah, yeah. So, Matt, what did you think of Daredevil Born Again?
I thought it was amazing. I instant spoiler here, people. I was instantly pissed when they killed off Foggy. Like, yo, I like I'm I was actually laying down, like watching it before I went to sleep. So I'm in bed watching it and like I'm getting comfortable. I'm paying attention. But then that happens and I go, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I'm like, yo. So I almost turned it off to finish it later because I was so mad. But I was like, nah, let me finish this episode first. And yeah, that. But I thought it was the tie-in at the end involving like Foggy, like what Foggy was doing. I thought was great. The parallels I thought were great, which we'll get into more detail about. But yeah, I thought it was amazing. What a great show. We got to see one of my favorite characters return. So I was very happy about that. But anyway, what did you think, Josh?
I thought it was good. I was expecting it to be, I guess, to match the energy of season one and season three of Daredevil. And it did in some ways, but I feel like it still wasn't quite the same show. And I know that they were planning wanting to do a very different. The show was when they were in development and they had filmed part of the show. The show was a lot different than what we got, and then they were like, "Well, this isn't really popping off." I think Kevin Feige looked at it and said, "This isn't really popping off." Like, I don't think people are going to be as receptive of this version. So they went back and they changed a lot of things, and I think some of that was for the better, but it still felt a little just not quite the same energy as the old show, as the old Netflix show. Not a bad watch, but just not the same, not quite the same energy. But I think it was good that we got to see them, after, in a show that takes place more in the MCU than the Netflix show did. I like that we're getting, it's more interconnected. We're getting them a little older, a little more experienced, and we're seeing them go through, like, really have to unpack some of the emotional stuff they've gone through, like losing Foggy, Matt's still trying to juggle relationships. I guess the question of, vigilantism versus, whatever, you know, like versus like the question raising the question about vigilantism, that what they usually do, and just,
Vigilantism versus shady politics.
ooh, yeah, yeah. And that goes into, like, what you were talking about before we started recording, about how Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk are different sides of the same coin.
Yep, yep. And
Yeah,
that was to me, that was where the parallel started because when they had that meeting and they both basically were like, hey man, look, we both changed a little bit. It's been a long time since we've
yeah,
been at each other's throat.
yeah,
And it's like, I I still don't trust you. You still don't trust me. But look, I'm trying to do this differently. And I know you've moved on a little bit. But if you get back on your BS that you was on, I'm gonna be on that same type of BS. And that's the exact thing that happened. And that's where it all kicked off for me.
Yeah,
Because then from that point on, you see the parallels between Fist is setting up this one thing, and then you see Matt like fighting, becoming Daredevil again. Like he doesn't want to do it, but yet he's still doing the right thing. And so like it just keeps building and building, and you see them on the same parallel paths, just you could tell it's building up to this crescendo that's gonna be that you could tell that Daredevil was coming back, but like to see him go through that process of trying to do it what he feels is moral, Matt trying to do it what he feels is morally right, but also Fish trying to do what he feels is morally right. Although, like I said, shady, but they both think they're morally correct in what they're doing, and it's like we said, like you said, two sides of the same coin. It was very interesting to see. I like the contrast there.
yeah. I feel like Fisk probably wants to be Fisk. A lot of Fisk's motivations come from, I guess, him wanting to clean up from his criminal persona and wanting to be like the man that his father was trying to be, but resorting to like ill means to do so and letting his anger and his just his severe mental health issues get in the way of you know doing things in the right way. And while it seems like he was like, oh, I'll be mayor, and he seems like he would have like he seems like he has the persona to do the right to be a good mayor, but he's still involved in his criminal shit. As we see with his relationship with Vanessa, he still cannot let go of a lot. He still has problems letting go of things, and he still has that. When he loses control, he really loses control, and he needs to get he'll want to get blood on his hands eventually.
Yeah, and that was something that I actually liked because they didn't with the character of Vanessa. They didn't just let her fix Muse. Like she was handling shit. Like she was a pivotal character.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
we saw in season 3 of Daredevil that she was willing to, give suggestions. She wanted to be part of Fisk's life, and they were like, "Oh, she doesn't want him to lie to her." But then we see like, "Oh, she's willing to play dirty too."
mm-hmm,
And he, in his goal of like, "Oh, I'm going to be mayor. I'm going to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to be a good guy." He still has her, running the business, doing all the shady stuff, so he can still get his money coming in.
right. But the fact that what she does, that she did what she did, means she's a great villain because that's what a perfect heel does. Because I hated her for it. I'm not trying to ruin the end yet because we ain't got to the end yet. But yeah, I hated her for it. Like, you dirty, dirty woman. Mm,
It's like, come on, Vanessa, come on now. Like, I think, well, never mind. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah, I hated seeing Foggy uh go. I had hopes that it would be him and Karen back in the show like they were in the Netflix show, but I
mm-hmm,
guess it is a thing of, you know, hey, things like they couldn't have the same status quo exactly. I think them moving on doing different things, especially after that tragedy. Like a tragedy happens, then friends moving on to different things. That's a very real thing. I definitely saw how Foggy's death was, I think, a breaking point in Matt and Karen's relationship, because you did see that they were like flirting at the bar before Bullseye
mm-hmm.
came in, and it's like, oh, what's been going on with them?
Yeah,
Are they
yeah. I
are
really
they looking
thought
at getting back together? Like, what's going on here? And then
I
that's tanked by the end, by when Foggy passes.
yeah, I really thought they were getting back into that. I was like, oh snap, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And then like you just see, like you said, friends moving on after tragedy is a very real thing. And even when they go to Bullseye's trial and like Matt's like trying, he's like trying to make a connection with her, and she's just like not having it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And you see, like you said, you see that a lot because it is a real thing. Like,
Yeah.
and so Matt's, of course, Matt's, figuring out life without both of them now,
Yeah.
essentially, because essentially both of his best friends are now out of his life.
Yeah.
So
But he's also wrestling with the thing that the fact when he heard it, I love how they shot that too, that he was listening to Foggy's heartbeat the entire time while he was fighting Bullseye. And the fight, while I feel it could have been shot a little better. I heard that scene was kind of added in later on in production. And I'm
mhm.
glad they did because it was a good, it was, I enjoyed it, even though it wasn't like the best shot thing in the world. But I did like that it was them fighting, um, Poindexter in his bullseye costume, and them just going at it, just bullseye throwing everything, bullseye using everything as a weapon, Daredevil doing Daredevil stuff. And then, but
Yeah,
also he's like, he knows that, oh crap, Foggy has been shot. His heart is wavering here. And it's a very intense moment when Boggy's heart stops and it's like, oh crap, he couldn't
yeah,
save him. They couldn't save him in time. He's dead. What is going on here? And
yeah,
then also Daredevil throws Bullseye off the roof.
yeah,
And it's like that thud was just like, oh crap,
yeah,
he tried to kill him.
yeah. He did. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought.
I don't blame him, but
Yeah, I don't blame him either. But like you said, during that fight, and as he's listening, and once he hears Foggy's heart stop, that guttural scream he lets out is just,
Mhm.
it's heartbreaking, man. It's like, oh, like he feel like anybody that loses a best friend, and to lose a best friend in such a tragic way, that's exactly how you would react. Like that wasn't that wasn't Daredevil there. That was all Matt looking Bullseye in the face and just being, and he even asks, he's like, why? And then throws him off. It's like, yo, not a, understandable. I like you said, I don't blame not
Yeah,
one bit.
yeah. But then we cut to a year later, and Matt is, he's seems to be doing better. He's got his firm. He's got, um, I think his partner, his law firm partner sets him up with this psychiatrist, and they start dating. And then here comes Fisk, and he's doing his mayor run, and I think Matt is like, you know, he had a similar reaction how how a lot of us had this past fall when a certain someone got elected president. There's like a lot of parallels to
Yeah.
what's going on in the world and what's going on in New York in the MCU.
You can see Matt just being like, oh, like, man,
Like,
are you
are,
serious right now?
are we joking right now?
Like, are you serious?
Is this really happening? Is this real life? Like the way he was like hearing it, like, oh God, this isn't real. This isn't real. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
he's just on pins and needles. Like he's just like, this is not going to be good. This is not going to
yeah.
be good. And but
Just stops
and
in the middle of the street and is just like,
yeah,
oh, oh,
yeah,
like
and
you see him be like, oh, F, like
yeah. But
it's,
it leads to that scene in the diner where they're, uh, another thing I like about that scene is how they, like you said, they kind of have this mutual respect. Like, like after all the blood after all the fights they've had, after all of the back and forth, after all they've done to hurt the other, it's still like it's not bad. It's been a while, man. It's not. I actually don't mind seeing you. It's actually nice to just be able to sit and talk and stuff. Yes, I respect you as an adversary.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like
You know,
there. I respect you as an adversary, but
yeah, man.
just know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on whatever you want. Just
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
What's your diet like, man? You look good. You look like. I think he said you look you're still in shape, and it's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
put on some muscle. I see you. Real recognize real.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm
But
gonna tell you, I'm gonna be frank with you. Don't you start your bullshit.
don't start none. Won't be none.
I'm watching you.
Yep, yep. Don't start none.
Yeah,
Won't be none.
yeah. What did you think about seeing Matt more the more lawyer side of the show, the more legal stuff of what do you think about all that?
I enjoyed that because I think sometimes in the MCU and in the superhero genre, we get so wrapped up in the superhero side of it, of them being in costume and doing the superhero thing way more way more than we get to see the actual human elements of the heroes that they are, underneath the costume. So I actually enjoyed that a lot. And I actually enjoyed seeing him actually forming a new romantic relationship and actually making it work for a pretty good while up until he just couldn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, seeing him, because Matt is a very good lawyer. I mean,
Yeah.
powers, super senses aside, he is a very good lawyer. He's studied, he's smart. He's been in the legal game for so long. Uh, yeah, he knows what he's doing, and it's good that he was like, oh, I mean, he has his own law firm. He's making good money. He, is able to he I think putting the Daredevil persona aside, has allowed him to kind of like, lean in, heal from not put his body on the line every other night when he's out doing Daredevil stuff. And like you said, getting a adult relationship with someone that it's like nothing against like Karen or or hell, She-Hulk, but someone who is, a regular person that is smart and is someone who's also just very like a psychiatrist, someone that is willing to talk about stuff and that you can be open with. And I can't remember her name, but she could stay. She looked good. She looked good. She had a little, I think she had a little accent to her. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Heather was her first name. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she
I'd
definitely.
like an appointment, please.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So yeah, speaking of her, like you could even see it it was a weird, not weird, but it was a interesting thing to see that even she is like when Matt starts getting back into the Daredevil stuff and he's trying to hide it from her, like he's like she can tell he's visibly frustrated all the time. He's got all the bruises and stuff. And she's like trying to not use her skill, like she's trying to use her skills without actually using her skills to get him to open up, and he's just fighting. He's like fighting, telling her, even though he knows she can help from a mental standpoint, but
Yeah.
he doesn't want to put that burden on her. It seems like.
Yeah, yeah. He's going back to his because as much as he wants to try to bury it, Daredevil is part of him, and I think him talking about his if you even if you were to try to dress his struggles up as just like normal stuff that he's got going on, it's still hard to ignore all the Daredevil stuff, like you said, the bruises, the I guess the late nights, the like where were you? You're supposed to you should be on just this regular schedule, but you've broken that. What's going on? He doesn't have his priest. He doesn't have Karen to talk to. He doesn't have Foggy to talk to. He has that detective office, that police that officer who's turned detective, that he can talk to.
Cherry,
But yeah, yeah,
cherry.
yeah. I think he as he gets closer to resuming the Daredevil lifestyle, there's a lot of contention there. Um, so he definitely gets as
I
he
can't,
leans more into the Daredevil, it gets harder for him to, enjoy his the life that he's built.
I can't remember if the bartender knew.
Josie,
Yeah, Josie.
I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew.
Okay, because I was gonna say he could talk to her if she knew,
Right. I mean,
but I can't remember if she did or not.
Yeah. I feel like he would,
So
I feel like they would have that moment of like, oh, you're the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Um, whatever, you still need to pay your tab. Or, oh, well, you've been a service to the community for God knows how many years. I'm not going to tell anybody. That'd be, I'm not going to stab you in the back like that.
I feel like she'd show loyalty. But how'd you feel about the villain, the other villain, Muse?
Muse, hmm. I would have liked I like that he was a catalyst for him coming back. I feel like there could have been another villain that could have really bridged the gap between him and Kingpin. Because while Kingpin's always Matt's, his like, okay, yeah, you are my adversary. You are
He's
my
Daredevil's dream guy.
he yeah, you are my ultimate opponent. You always will be. But I
Yeah,
feel like there should have been someone else between Muse and Kingpin.
yeah.
I thought I thought they kind of, I guess, let him linger or let him be more than what he was. I haven't read the comics, so maybe someone who's read comics where Muse is more, where Muse gets more background is would they could tell me something different. But from what I saw and how he was adapted, I feel like, while yeah, he was good to get him get him back into fighting crime. I feel like they dwelled on him too long.
yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like they dwelled on, but I will say they kind of, to me, they didn't do a good job of like hiding who it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as soon as he was at that book signing, Heather's book signing, and he's like, "Hey Doc, I need help," and she's like, "I'm sure we can arrange something." He's like, "No, you're not listening to me." I was like, "That's a bad guy." I
Mm.
immediately was like, "That's a bad guy."
Yeah, him going into the office and having that session was like, come on now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
it
the
was
whole
like
like, yeah, I studied kung fu was like, okay,
Taekwondo, but yeah,
Taekwondo. Yeah, I'm a master
yeah.
of Taekwondo. I was like, okay,
Ah,
here we
shit.
go.
Here we go. Yep,
Yeah.
man. I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't mention White Tiger.
Yeah, I thought that was a interesting setup for Matt because he had to be kind of while he has the background of like, oh, I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen. So, but I'm not anymore. I was the devil of Hell's Kitchen. I was Daredevil, but I'm not anymore. And I see this vigilante who was operating around the same time I was, and now he's getting, dogged out and dragged through the mud, and I want to help him out. Thought it was very, very crazy for him to be like, to expose him. I was like, Matt, you're how would you feel if someone just showed up with a mat would show up with your mask and your
Yeah,
fingerprints and they're like, yo, Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't.
Like,
I
how would you feel if you got outed like that? I mean,
yeah,
it did help. Yes, it did help his case. It did, get people to like be like, well, White Tiger actually did save my life and my neighbor's lives. He saved a lot of people's lives. So it doesn't,
yeah,
right? You're right. It doesn't make sense for him to just kill two cops,
yeah,
kill a cop
yeah,
like that.
yeah. But also, like you said, it's like, bro, like, and you did see him fight with it for a little bit, whether or not to out him. But I feel like they didn't take enough time exp- uh to showcase that fight a little more. I feel like, and I understand you got to move the plot along, but like that should have been tougher for Matt than they made it seem. Because it seemed like he
Yeah.
only contemplated it over the course of a few hours when it should have taken him maybe a day or two.
Yeah, yeah. Once he found out, he was very much like, okay, I have to use this. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah,
Maybe there could have been another means of doing that, but I think it was very kind of short-lived victory when he got killed, and it's just like, oh, he got shot, and oh, crap, it's the Punisher, but it's not Punisher.
yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, bro,
boys back.
Freaking John Bernthal returns as Punisher, and my God,
Yeah,
he killed it as he often always does.
yeah,
But man, that this like he is he ain't having no he ain't playing around, bro. Like he's just like, yeah, this he's like, I hate these people. And he's like, I hate these people that are posing as me, you know. And he's like, I'm still gonna do my thing my way. You're just gonna have to deal with it, Red.
yeah, yeah. Like he understood Matt's pain. He was like Matt confronted him, and Matt does this, holier than thou bit with him, and I can tell that I feel like they if they didn't have the lives they had, they could probably have been buddies, or they could have at least got along. They're not about like good friends, but they could have been like respectful friends, or just someone like one of the guys that you see in a bar or something like that. Maybe they could have had some kind of friendship, but they have a relationship where they understand each other, but they're always just butting heads. But they do serve in different ways. Serve New York, serve Hell's Kitchen, serve New York in different ways. They're both heroes in their own ways.
Yeah,
I liked how he was able to, uh, you know, call Matt out on his routine of hiding who he was, hiding that he was Daredevil, or preventing, or how Matt was preventing himself from becoming Daredevil again, and then, but also understanding his pain of like, oh, you lost Foggy. I get that, man. That was rough.
yeah,
You see, you're, I carry my family with me that died, and see that, and you see how they're very similar.
yeah, yeah. You see how they are very similar. The thing that I like you said, they they should be better friends than they are. But much like in real life, we all have a lot of us have that one friend that's gonna keep it real with us no matter what, no matter no matter how much it may hurt us to hear. Like, and I feel like Punisher was that for Daredevil. He's like, hey man, look, like no matter how you look at it, yeah, your situation sucks, but look, this is what we gotta do right now. Cause you see what's going on. Like, you gonna let them keep hurting you like this or hurting your city like this, man? Look, we gotta do this. Like I said, we all need that one person, that one friend that keeps it 100 with us no matter what. And that's why I really love the portrayal of Frank Castle in this series, especially at the end.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, uh, what pivoting from that, we have Kingpin as mayor, and I see that he seems like he is trying to make New York City better. He is still trying to balance out his, relationship with Vanessa, but also his drive to, I guess, keep that mob power and keep that influence that he has. Um, yeah, he's just having a hard time, with that, and with all the duties as mayor. And I think it's just definitely while there were some, parallels to, like, I think him trying to turn the narrative in his favor. He does that again in Daredevil Born Again, and it's definitely stuff we see in real life where he's twisting facts, or he's like making people think that you like show like you want like having like being strong and forceful, and is the way to you know regain hold on to power to keep control. And but it always ends up hurting people, or hurting people on the lower end, or people not actually being able to be free because you're just trying to hold on to power at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was very telling to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And also, like, Fisk creating a task force to
Mm.
stop the vigilantes using. the worst on the force is like you that's not helping the situation, bro. Like you're only amplifying the situation, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, but again, more real life parallels. You get, people that, are given a job and they want to do that job to the best they can, but they're human and they make those mistakes and they have to, learn from those mistakes and live with those mistakes. But then if you don't address, if they don't learn or if people don't address the problems with people in those positions of power, then that they feel like, oh, yeah, I can keep doing this. I can keep doing this. This is fine. This is how, stuff gets handled, This is fine. And yeah, and then it's like, oh, he's just weaponized the police force as his new, you know, as his new gang. And it's
Yeah.
like, crap. It's just like this is like season three with the FBI all over again.
Yep.
Crap.
Yep. Yep.
And also season one where he had those dirty cops on his payroll. It's just like he just finds a way. This just knows how to find a way to get into positions of power to where he and have and uses money and blackmail and bribery to just get people just to like become his willing servants. And it's just
Yep.
it's so just uncanny.
Yep. So we get let's let's talk about the final battle pretty much. Like the lead up to it with, Fisk having his big party
Hmm.
and then um him and Matt being there and like they start to figure out, oh, Vanessa set Foggy up. Like, yo, that I was like, this
Just when I was kind of feeling bad for her, and it's like, nope, nope.
excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. This bitch, like I was hot. I was hot. I was like, man, I was like, well played, but you wrong, you dirty.
I'm like she was making moves this entire she deserves to be Miss Kingpin because
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
been making moves and plotting and planning. It's like how what's come on man, you brought
For
Bullseye out. You should have known that was gonna bite you in the ass one of these days.
for better or for worse, she is a true ride or die.
Yeah, yeah, and that okay, I see that, but
Yeah,
you still suck as a you're still a shitty human being.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
legit.
It was like seeing like pulling him out of the psych facility that he was in, and it's like, oh no, don't take him off his meds. He needs his meds. He's gonna just
Yeah,
start killing people again. Oh no. And you
yep,
start hearing the little his little tale of like he's hearing the flies and stuff. It's like, oh, and or the little uh ringing, and it's like, oh crap, he's going that
yep,
route again. He's on
yep,
his bullseye stuff. I love seeing Bullseye doing bullseye shit, but it's just like it's so bad. Even though it's really bad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But we get Matt taking the bullet for Kingpin.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like that was like, whoa,
yeah. And then them
okay,
still hit him still decide. I don't know if it was Kingpin. I think it was one of his either it was Kingpin or one of his goons that decided, yeah, we're just gonna finish him off. I think
yeah,
it was Kingpin. Yeah, just go ahead and finish him off. So we're just nip this in the bud.
yeah.
But yeah, but
And we get
Daredevil, got was able to Matt was able to somehow recover, like get enough strength to get out of there and get
yeah,
to his apartment where Frank was waiting to help him out
yeah,
because his real his real ride or die, uh, Karen came in at the
yeah.
last minute.
Yep, yep. She made the call. Frank
Yep, yep,
answered, and we off to the races.
yeah, yeah,
And that final battle was freaking insane. The
yep.
city's on fire. Everybody's like everybody's out for themselves. The gangs is at war. The task force is at war with the vigilantes. Everybody's going nuts. The task force captures Frank, and they're like, "Man, we love you. We idolize you. We can you can serve with us." And Frank's like, "Man, I don't like none of y'all clowns. I ain't serving with you."
Oh, y'all suck. You don't. Why do you
Yeah,
think I like you, any of y'all? Why do you think if I wanted to be with y'all, I would have already done that. But
yeah,
you obviously, as you can obviously see from the amount of y'all that I've killed or maimed, that I do not like you guys.
Yeah,
We are
exactly.
not the same.
Yeah, you want to be me. I
Yeah.
am me. Like that's what it is. Like, I
Oh,
think that that was kind of in response to the thing they had to do in the comic books where they had to change his logo a little bit because you know certain departments were using it,
yeah, it's just
and they
I
had to make the whole statement of he's not he's not pro y'all
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
essentially.
I don't think like a regular like cop that does his job, like Frank doesn't have a problem with. It's just how the wrong route they can they that the that policing can take, and how a lot of cops latch onto that
Yep.
wrong mentality,
Yep.
and they think
Yep.
they are the ones supposed to be punishing, but that's not what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I did.
but we
I
have
did.
Karen helping Matt get to safety and get him to realize like how bad things have gotten, and get him to you know you know get the resolve to like, okay, we have to start fighting back, because Kingpin has all the power and he's gone too far. And I like I'm interested in seeing what season two is gonna bring to the table. Kingpin has amassed all the power, and as one does when someone becomes untouchable, they can do whatever they want, and he takes this opportunity to get revenge on specific people. The council. He starts becoming more emboldened to threaten people. He's
Hmm.
allowing he's enforced martial law. And what's the other thing? What's the big thing he does at the end of the show, Matt?
Oh, oh, where you mean where he locks up all the vigilantes?
No, 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 not vigil. I mean, he locks up vigilantes, dissenters, people that have screwed him over. But what do you remember? Is it? It's in the. It's like in my head somewhere. I just can't get it out. It's like crushing me. I can't.
Oh, oh yeah, where he crushed that guy's
Woo,
head. My
woo.
God. Like not only like crushed his head, but like twisted his jaw in the process of crushing his head. It was
It
so
it was
that that was yeah, I kind of repressed that to be honest.
it was like it was in the same vein of like a callback to when we first saw him, when he crushes the Russian mobster's head in with the car door.
Yeah,
That's
the,
one
like
thing.
a car door versus your bare hands is a little like yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, bro, like
First, what he did to
how? One, how? Two, really? Was
yeah,
did you
like
did you really need to crush? Like, I think too, like it's like putting pressure on one side and like not like he's no Omni Man. He's no
yeah, yeah,
he's no like Thor or Hulk to just do
yeah,
that and just like crunching thing. But it was just imbalanced, and but he still
yeah. It
crushed
was
dude's skull.
yeah.
Ugh, that
Not to
was
mention what
metal.
he did to not to mention what he did to freaking Adam too. Like yeah,
Oh, Adam. Ooh, ooh. I feel
yeah,
I feel bad for Adam. Like Adam.
yeah. Me
I
too.
I made it sound like maybe Adam's okay, and then you go down to Fisk. Fisk is a little Chambers,
Hell, yep,
and oh Adam, you
yeah,
you royally fucked up, my dude. You royally
yeah.
you ruined your life.
Yeah,
I know Vanessa's a baddie, but come on, man. You
yeah,
should have
yeah.
known. You should
You
have
should.
known.
Yeah, she might be a baddie, but that ain't one you
No,
risk it for, bro.
it's not one risk it for. Vanessa's
No,
girl, no, nope.
nah, Fist girl, nah, bro.
No, that's not worth it, man.
Yeah,
That is the last you will ever get,
yeah, yeah,
and that is
exactly.
the last of life you will ever get to enjoy.
And
Because
then for Fist to like take the satisfaction of making him fight, knowing he is so weak and depleted, is just
yeah,
that was next level sadistic to me. Like that was bad.
yeah, but that's just Fisk being Fisk. Like,
Yeah.
Him, I think him trying to turn a real new leaf, but also like just his passion and love for Vanessa, and then knowing that she cheated, was just too much for him, and he still wanted to hold on to that little bit of himself. And that was something that was like, I'm not letting this go. This is no my this I'm going to keep this evil or this contempt, this hate part alive. I'll give it. I'm gonna feed it every so often, but I'm not gonna turn to let it be a bonfire just yet. But I'm gonna just keep it lit.
Yeah.
And he still had the painting. But yeah, just him just showing his power and just showing just how far he's willing to go to like destroy someone that has been again been a thorn in his side is just whew,
Yeah.
it was
Which,
it was intense.
in a way, you can, I can kind of respect it, but at the same time, bro, there's another way to do this shit.
Yeah,
Like, no.
I knew they were talking about like this one being on par violent with the previous show, where we see like we saw like dudes on. I think that one cop his arm getting like twisted, like bent backwards or just bent inwards.
Yeah.
And we saw like Matt like jumping on that bank robber's legs. Um,
Yeah. That was good. I
yeah.
was
It's a
like,
lot of
oh,
like violence we're used to. It's just certain things that are just like just hard
yeah.
to watch.
Yeah. Credit to the sound design on the bone breaking and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Cause that made it feel realistic.
yeah.
Um,
Bullseye's interrogate Bullseye, just doing Bullseye stuff and the way
yeah,
he just goes through people. Yeah. It
yeah,
yeah, they did good. It wasn't as much as I wasn't sure how they're going to balance it out, but I think they found a decent balance, even if I don't feel like the show was in the exact same vein as the old Netflix show.
yeah. It wasn't in the exact same thing, but it definitely I felt like at the spirit of it, which is what we kind
It
of
got close to, especially when it's
yeah,
trying to be more in the MCU, which we
yeah.
got a lot of references to. We did you hear the Morales reference? Yeah,
Officer Morales, I
Officer
heard that.
Morales.
I
We
heard
got
the Spider-Man thing that Fist said we don't need somebody in a spider suit or something.
dressed as a spider. We don't need
Yeah,
that. They mentioned we saw Swordsman from the Hawkeye show.
yeah,
Um, Kate Bishop's mom's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. We got Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. We saw her
yep,
dad, and we saw her Funko Pop, of all
yep,
things. Um,
yep.
what else? We have no references to She-Hulk, even though looking at the timeline, she wasn't. I think They had their interaction like a year before, right before, like a few months before Foggy's murder.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, so
I
that
haven't
was
watched She-Hulk, so
yeah. It's a decent show. I know that people like to bash on it, but it is a very funny show. And it's different, and it does that fourth wall break that we see from Deadpool, and it feels
which
like
apparently in the comics she does that too. So
yeah, and it's a bit lighter. I think it's fitting. I think it's a fitting show. They let's see, we don't get much of the other Netflix heroes for
yeah,
the Netflix show, but Jessica
but
Jones is coming back for season two.
and I can't wait, bro. Jessica Jones was other than all right. So as far as the Marvel series goes, my top three was it was a Punisher, probably Punisher, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Iron
Which
Fist.
I feel like and then Defenders is in there somewhere, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
put it at the bottom. But I feel like Luke Cage and Daredevil could flip flop back and forth for third.
Hmm.
But I remember me and you watched Jessica Jones together,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was an awesome show.
The first season was, oh boy, that was.
There was a lot of heavy
That was
shit in
one of the
there.
best seasons of superhero television I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
uh, seasons 2 and 3 were just they had the same. They didn't hit the same, but they still had the intensity that
yeah,
like the show was just it's a very raw show, and
yeah,
she went through it. Like you think,
yeah.
oh, she had her trauma, she should be everything should be good now. Nope, nope. There's more trauma. There's more.
Yep,
There's more shit.
yep,
There's more
yep.
shit.
And I'm so glad that Kristen Ritter was like, "Yeah, I'd love to play her in a heartbeat." She's like, "I'd love to bring her back in a heartbeat,"
Yeah.
and we are getting her. And we're getting more Punisher, which I want more Luke Cage. I want more Luke Cage.
They got to bring him back. I want to see because it's been like what so many years since his show ended. Fisk is the mayor of New York, and he's going to declare martial law over the city. He's in control. He's controlling the police. Still the kingpin of crime. Harlem is affected, so Luke Cage should also be in the picture.
Yeah.
Or maybe him and Jessica are together by now. I'd love to see that. See
Yes.
them together as a package deal, like
Yes.
helping Daredevil fight. Like Daredevil was getting an army together. Like, yeah, you got some regular Joes and some cops, some good cops and some legal people, but you gonna need some fighters for this one.
Yeah, you don't need some superpower fighters for this one.
Yeah.
Do you think we see Spider Man?
I have one of the creators that I follow suggested that this would be Spider-Man's fight because Kingpin is one of his,
Yeah,
in the comics, definitely one of his enemies. He's fought him several
yeah,
times in other shows
yep,
and movies,
yep.
but
That's
he's
why I
in,
mentioned it.
yeah, yeah, and he's in Queens, so he should be,
Yeah.
like
Or
stepping up for something. I just don't know
or
how
do
they
you
would do.
think we get Miles from Brooklyn?
That's a good one too, because I have a theory that he's a little older since this if he survived maybe he survived the snap, maybe he's a little older, so he's getting into his abilities, maybe we get to see Officer Morales and his son.
Yeah,
I don't know, we'll
that
see, but
that'd be cool.
it's just a lot of logistics with getting a Spider Person in an MCU show,
Yeah, yeah,
given all the stuff, all the the Sony Marvel relationship is still kind of strained, or it's a lot of logistics.
yeah.
I I think we could see Miss Marvel maybe. I don't That's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh
I mean, with the way they built her up, I think
hmm,
it's a possibility.
yeah, maybe Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
Um
I think we getting Kate Bishop at
would
some point.
I,
I
do I want to
think.
see Iron Fist? I don't I want to see
I
Colleen. I want to see Colleen and Misty Knight.
Yeah,
Danny
Misty
Rand,
Knight.
I care less. I care less about, but
Yeah, me too, me too. I don't know though. The new Iron Fist seems like as far as the comics go, he seems pretty cool.
you said the new Iron Fist from the comics.
Yeah,
Oh well, and at the end of
I saw a video about him. He seems pretty cool. I want to look more into it.
yeah, yeah. Well, in the show at the end of season two for Iron Fist, uh, Colleen takes the power of the Iron Fist,
Oh yeah, I forgot
and
about that.
she
Yeah,
is the Iron Fist at the end. Danny does get the chi powers in a scene at the very end of the show. We don't know how he gets them, but he gets some chi abilities or
yeah,
key manipulating abilities when he's traveling the world. But
yeah.
Colleen
I
is
would.
the Iron Fist.
Yeah, I would love to see Colleen again. I forgot how good she was in that show. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, but can we talk about my favorite scene from the whole series?
Oh yeah, the last scene of the show
The
with our
the the
boy
po
Frank Castle.
the post credit scene with the dumbest cop in MCU history. Good lord, man! This
Oh
is
man, where did they pull this guy from, man? They must have pulled this guy. This cop must have been pulled, yanked out of his hospital bed after
this guy. Nah, this guy.
after having a severe head injury,
This
and like
nah. This
they were like, "Hey man, we'll just give you this job. It's low key. You ain't gotta do nothing. Just make your rounds and you'll get paid, man. Don't worry about it."
nah
But that's
nah.
not what
This guy.
happened.
this guy is an out of state transfer, bro. Because ain't no way you can be in New York and not know who that is. Like, bro,
Or
oh my
be
god,
dumb
bro.
enough to get yourself to be to shake to actually shake his hand to not understand him as a threat in every sense of the word.
So
No, he doesn't need a weapon to hurt you. He doesn't
no,
need
he doesn't.
he just needs to get a if he gets a hold of you that you're done. Like, come on, man.
He
Why are you?
only like for all intents and purposes, he only uses the weapons for basically long range. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
he doesn't.
If he can't reach you, he's going to shoot you or throw something at you.
Yeah, like dude, like
But otherwise, he's going to punish any way he
literally.
can.
Yeah, exactly.
And
For context, like if those of you have seen the show, the post credit scene is Castle gets captured, Punisher gets captured, and he gets put in one of this underground's holding cells, and he's all chained up, and he's chained up from the roof of the cell so that like he can't use anything to escape. I guess the guard on duty, who as I stated is an out of state transfer because he has no idea who he's talking to because Castle is just talking to him. He's like, "Hey man, where
he
you
knows now. He
from?"
knows who the Punisher is. He knows who
Okay,
Frank Castle the Punisher is, but he does not know.
yeah, he's not one of those. If you know, you know.
He
He just
doesn't know.
knows.
I don't think no one bothered to tell him that, like, hey, he killed like 15 cops, before we
Yeah,
brought him in. We had to
yeah.
beat
He
him within an inch of his life,
to get him in
to get
here.
him where he is now.
They did not give him any parameters. Let's put it that
No.
way. They did not give him any parameters for dealing with that cell.
Yeah.
Because Castle starts talking to him. He's like, "Hey man, what's your name? Where you from?" Dude's like, "I'm from Jersey," and Castle's like, "Oh yeah, me too." Blah blah blah. And dude's like, "Oh yeah, I really respect you, man. Like, sorry." He basically tells him, a little bit sorry you're in here. Blah blah blah. And Frank's like, "Man, it's good to meet another Jersey boy. Let me shake your hand, whatever." Dude actually reaches in like the biggest dumbass on the planet. Like, why do you do? Frank, of course, grabs his hand, breaks his arm clean off, and you hear that signature grunt. It breaks his arm over with, like, and it just fades to like, and I'm sitting there thinking, this cop,
No, no,
bro.
Matt. This Punisher slash this stripper slash this politician really does like me.
It's like, oh boy, you like as soon as Frank started talking to him, I go, "Oh, you poor soul." I'm like,
Oh,
I was like, I
oh, my
know
sweet summer child.
exactly. It's like, oh, you poor baby.
But this is our window to get a Punisher special that's coming out next year. Last I
Yeah,
heard, we're gonna get Born Again season 2 next spring, and then we're getting, I think, the Punisher. I'm pretty sure Frank is going to be in this in the next season as well. But then we're going to also get the Punisher special on Disney Plus.
I mean, all for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Matter of fact,
It's been
anything
too long. Let's get more. Let's give us more of that. Give us more of
as
that.
long as they bring back Punisher theme song. Punisher theme song goes hard.
That
It,
is a
it
stand
just
for the Punisher's theme song.
I am a stand for it. I will die on that hill. That song is dope.
Yeah.
As
And we
soon
can
as he,
also I appreciate them bringing back the a modified version. I appreciate them bringing back the classic theme from the Netflix show.
yeah,
Like
I thought it was cool.
there's a weird cadence they add to or a weird intro or lead up to that theme, that familiar theme, but it works. It works.
Yeah, it works. I like the Jessica Jones theme too, but yeah, Punisher theme go
Hmm. Yeah.
hard.
I actually like the Luke Cage theme too.
I like the Luke
Cage
Cage
theme
thing
too.
too, but of the three, my favorite, I think it would go Punisher, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones
Yeah.
as far as theme songs. But yeah, Punisher theme go hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Daredevil Born Again season 1. Uh, not a perfect. season of television, but we enjoyed it. It was good seeing our boy
Yep.
Charlie and our boy Vincent do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other actors, brought it as they usually do, and we're excited for season two coming out next year. What did you think? Let us know in the comments. Like this video whenever you get a chance to, and share it with your friends who are also Daredevil Marvel fans.
Also, if you are in Atlanta for Atlanta Comic Con on July 18th through the 20th,
Yeah,
find us. We will be there.
we will
Come
be there.
holler at us.
We are excited to go see some
Yes.
incredibly talented people, see some awesome cosplays, check out the
Yep.
vendors. We're going to be so broke by the end of
Yep.
this,
Oh,
but
so very, very broke.
but it will be worth it
It will be
because
worth it.
we're going to have a fun time.
Definitely. And if you're in the area and you listen to this and you want to meet us and take pictures and whatever, chat, come see us.
Yep,
Find
yep.
us.
We won't be hard to spot. There's a we'll be there's a we're going with the Rick and Morty theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, you'll definitely hear us if anything.
Yeah. You'll hear us if you don't see us at first.
Yeah, yeah. But until then, nerd out.
Nerd out.